I moved to another city for work. A year later, I already took out a mortgage on a small apartment without repair, as I came up with the design myself. And then it started. Mom decided to give me advice. She made a scandal that I bought an expensive chandelier, then that I demolished the pantry. White furniture is not allowed. It is branded. Light laminate is impractical. There is a little furniture in the hall. We still need to buy. And so on indefinitely. And I was already 26 years old, and I was doing repairs with my own money. It came to screams and insults. I barely set the boundaries. One day, I was returning home late at night after work. It was so late that there were no buses in this part of the city. I decided to take a shortcut through the cemetery, as it would shorten my trip by half an hour. When I got to the cemetery gate, I saw 3 young women standing there nervously. They were wearing beautiful dresses and high heels, probably returning home after a party. They asked if they could keep me company, as they were afraid to walk along the path at night. Of course, I agreed, and we went. I reassured them, I completely understand your fears. This place also scared me when I was alive. I had no idea how fast ladies in high heels could run if they had enough incentive. I grew up in a poor family, but I didn't even worry about it. I remember that my parents said that the main thing was not money, but love, and the fact that we had each other. But when I was going to marry a man whose childhood was similar to mine, my mother discouraged me in every possible way. It turns out that she decided that my sister and I should marry a rich man. My sister lived up to her expectations, but I didn't, marrying a poor history teacher. As a result, my parents stopped communicating with me. I feel bitter. I don't understand them. I got married very early. I copied my parents' way of life. My husband worked, and I took care of the household. I gave birth, didn't work for 12 years, and then a friend invited me to join her firm. And I got so involved that I worked my way up to the head of the department in 2 years. Now my husband gets hysterical about my shirts not being ironed and no food. And I order food now, the kids don't care, and my husband panics. After all, I dare to work overtime and on weekends on the phone. I like this way of life. The other day, he said he'd find someone to cook for him. My mother-in-law signed over her apartment to my husband and me as soon as we got married, under the pretext, live, build a household. I'm helping a young family. And she herself moved to a neighboring town. We were very grateful to her, happy that we do not have to get into the mortgage, planned to start saving for a car. But first, we decided to make repairs from scratch, because the apartment was no good. We were happy exactly until a year later she decided to come back and live with us, absolutely not interested in how we feel about it. At any attempt of my husband to explain to her that we are not very comfortable, tantrums and tears began. Mother-in-law behaved like a hostess. She got into our things, arranged everything as she saw fit, brought guests when we wanted to rest, bought some shabby cabinets and nightstands without our knowledge. In general, she felt she was the most important person there. All this went on for quite a long time. No amount of talking and asking didn't help. We freaked out. On the money saved for all the time, bought a very simple apartment. But the money was still not enough, and we took out a mortgage. And now my mother-in-law is genuinely surprised because I gave you housing. Why did you take on this burden in the form of a mortgage for a bunch of years? When I was in my early 20s, I lived with a guy I trusted completely. I trusted him when he was late for work. I trusted him when he showed up home at 4 a.m. Then one day, an acquaintance called me and told me he saw my boyfriend with another girl at his grandmother's funeral, introducing his date to the family, taking her on dates. My heart broke that day, and this girl's heart broke too, because I found her and told her everything. We talked for hours, laughed, and cried over the whole situation, and then we took that fool and dumped him. And she and I became friends. We've both been happily married for a long time now, and our female friendship is growing stronger and stronger. I was on vacation at an all-inclusive resort. On the first day, we couldn't find any free sunbeds either on the beach or by the sea. Well, we thought, okay, it was the afternoon after all. The next day, we came to the beach and most of the places are already occupied by towels. We found a free one, settled down, but we noticed that many deck chairs stood reserved but unused all day long. On the third day, we decided to just remove the towels from the chairs we liked and enjoy the rest. After 4 hours, an elderly couple showed up and started yelling, saying that they had occupied their towels here. We had to leave, but I decided not to let everything go down. The next day after breakfast, I went and collected all the ownerless towels from the deck chairs and put them in one pile. Oh, how many people resented then. But by the end of the week, there was a sign that unattended towels would be removed. I think it's a success. Last night, I went to the movies with some friends. We arrived, sat down, and behind us sat a girl who just put her legs on the back of my friend's seat. He asked her to remove them. No emotion. We called the receptionist. He made the girl sit down normally, but as soon as he left, she put her legs up again. I got tired of it. I got up, went up 2 rows, sat behind this girl and put my legs on the back of her chair. She tried to say something to me, but the movie had already started, so I couldn't hear her. I sat like that for the whole movie. It was uncomfortable, but the revenge was worth it. We have a small staff, only 15 people, so the party was held right at the boss's house. 2 salesgirls brought guys. One of them met him just half an hour ago. The guys got into an argument and got into a scuffle right in front of everyone. They broke our boss's pool table and ruined all the carpets. Everyone around us is screaming, and my wife and I are just sitting in the corner munching nachos and enjoying the show. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new episodes. Share your stories and impressions in the comments, and maybe your story will become a masterpiece in one of our upcoming videos. Let's dive into the world of slimes and stories together.